guys, welcome back. We'll continue the C programming, the fundamentals. I'm Ycode. If you like the video, please subscribe. Note, the material presented in this video is based on my opinion and knowledge, and it's not officially approved by a higher education institution. Use it at your own risk. Let's dive in. So we talked about data types, variables. Today we'll talk about input and output. Okay, let's start. The first thing we'll do is to understand how to write our first line of code, few lines actually. This is the necessary basic line of code you need to write in each program you'll make. So the code is hashtag include space less than sign stdio.h and then bigger than sign, where the code stdio.h stands for Standard Input Output Library. Library is code that someone else wrote for us, and we'll get deeper in that later on. Next, we'll write void main, parentheses, both of them, in this way, in this order as well. We have curly brackets, another curly brackets. Between them, we'll have our code, and I'll get deeper on later what is void and why we have the parentheses and all of the signs that we don't understand yet. So before we continue, I wanted to talk about our program that we're going to code in. I'm going to use Visual Studio, but I wanted to add to the description a link for this article of 13 best IDEs, environments for C and C++ developers. I recommend actually any of them, but Eclipse is very well known as and recommended. Coblox is also great, so go on, use them, they're free, but I'll use Visual Studios because that's what I prefer. So now let's open Visual Studios. I have the version 2017, but you can update to 2019 if you wish. Let's open a new project. So File, New, Project. Please make sure when you install you add the C++ extension. I'm not sure the name, but if you have difficulties I can look for it. Just Google it up, how to use C in Visual Studios. Then press on the Windows desktop. Press on the Windows desktop wizard. Browse for the library you want to save it in. So I'm going to do a folder input output and say okay. Now please check in the empty project box and okay, of course. Now it's loading. Now I'll save. So now let's write the code that we saw. So we have hashtag include standard.io.h, then we have void main parentheses, curly parentheses, and as you can see we have here a yellow line. It means we have new code. When I'll do Command S, Control S, to become green, it means we saved the project. So this is our first code. So now let's go back and explain what's input and output, and then we'll go start and write our first piece of code. So input and output. So input is the way that we write something to our computer. We add information for code. So let's say we want to add a number. So we have our variable x, and then scanf is the word we use for an input. Then we have here the percentage sign d. I will explain why we have these signs later on. and x. So we are asking from the user to enter a value for x. So we will write something, and then the thing that we're going to write is going to be in the x variable. So again, the variable is saving space in the memory and put in there the value that we told him. Now about printing. So printing is actually showing on the screen. Usually it will open a new window and we are printing a word that will tell it, or something, a value, number. We use it usually for own sake, to understand something, to see the progress of our programming. Actually, because the computer is working on a language that we don't understand, we need some kind of way to communicate. So the printing is the way that we get a feedback from the computer. So now the way we write it is printf, parentheses, quotation marks, hello world, exclamation point is the example we did here, and then we have a semicolon. Now let's go and write it in our Visual Studio. So let's write our first thing. We'll write printf. Then we must have a parentheses and the quotation marks, two of them, and then we have to have a semicolon. And then, as you can see, there's a yellow line, so we wrote new code. We'll press Ctrl S and it saved it. And after we added our code and we added our print f, so I want to show you how to run your program. So we have a shortcut here, but it uses a debugger that we're not going to use yet. So we want to use it without a debugger. We can change the settings here, but we'll do it later. For now, we start without debugging. Then it's building. You can see here on the bottom, building. Main seed going to a file. It's build one succeeded. It didn't fail. So that's good. And you can see, congratulations. It's printed to the screen. We have a space here because we have a space here. So now let's write something real. I'm going to write hello world because it's a very common thing when you write your first program to write this sentence. Now I'm going to debug, start without debugging. Hello world, yay. The only thing that is bothering me is that everything on the same line. So now I'm going to go add /n. This n and slash together, one after each other, goes down a line. I'm going to save. You can see it's yellow. Debug without debugger. Congratulations, hello world. So now after we wrote the first piece of code, we'll continue about the input part later, but now we can do whatever you want. I will show you another example. We can do congratulations. And let's do space, 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 hi, space, 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 bye. We'll put each one of them in a different line. Okay. So now let's start and check what's going on. Congratulations, hi, bye, with all the spaces. Nice. So now that we did the print part, I'm going to continue the scanf, which is the input part, in the next video because it started to become long. If you like the video, please subscribe and thank you very much. See you soon.